E3 has come and gone, and with it we got some brand new Pokémon Sun and Moon info. New Pokémon, new attacks, and even a new battle mode. Not only that, but we've also seen some new leaks and a new trailer for Zygarde. But rather than just regurgitating the news for you guys, I come to you with a theory. A theory that many people have had for months now, but in light of this new information, I'm starting to think that this theory has some real credibility. The theory is, of course, that Pokémon Sun and Moon will in some way connect back to Kalos. There was one notable piece of evidence that got people thinking about this idea as soon as Sun and Moon were announced. Remember this line in the trailer?
It all comes together in an all-new Pokémon adventure.
It all comes together. Now, this could just be a meaningless statement used to simply build excitement for the new games, but it's definitely interesting that the trailer lists every single Pokemon generation and then says, it all comes together. So the speculation began, and people started piecing together the clues. We had these Zygarde forms that got no explanation whatsoever, and it seemed that Pokemon Z was skipped entirely, which, by the way, had me completely thrown off. I would have put money on there being a Pokemon Z. A lot of money. There was also this Koroway train station that served no purpose in-game, which got people speculating as to whether or not it might connect to a new region in a later game. There's Volcanion, who had basically no explanation at the time and who we still only know a few details about. And then there's Magearna, who I lovingly still refer to as Mangina, who was the first ever Generation 7 Pokemon to be leaked. There was definitely something we were missing. It seemed like a possibility that the new games could connect back to Kalos, but it wasn't really enough to go on, and for a while these were the only clues we had. Sure, in the following months we did get a whole bunch of new Pokemon Sun and Moon news, but it all seemed like brand new stuff, not connected to Kalos in any way. Of course, what we did learn from all these Sun and Moon trailers was that a connection to Alchemy in these games is all but confirmed. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I did a video on Solgalio's connection to Alchemy, and GameXplain did a very informative breakdown of a bunch of different clues, all pointing to a connection to Alchemy. But let's come back to that topic in a few minutes. What I want to talk about now is Volcanion and Magearna. When we did finally see some kind of news about them, it related to the Volcanion movie that pretty much just came out in Japan. This movie introduces a place called the Azoth Kingdom, which is a mechanical city with cogs and gears that looks all steampunky and shit. And as GameXplain pointed out, Azoth is actually a term used in real-world alchemy. Well, apparently in this movie, Volcanion is trying to free Magearna from this Azoth place, which is actually located in Kalos. So that's something interesting right there, a Pokemon in Generation 7 that has ties back to Kalos. Something else to note about the city of Azoth is this hexagonal architecture everywhere, which is highly reminiscent of Zygarde's design, which includes these various clusters of hexagons on its body. Pretty interesting, right? Well, speaking of Zygarde, we recently just got a new trailer for his 10% and complete forms, and what's crazy is that this trailer begins and ends with the Pokemon Sun and Moon box art, confirming that this Zygarde content is in fact Sun and Moon related and not just some kind of DLC or something for X and Y. So not only do we have Magearna, a Sun and Moon Pokemon that has a connection to Kalos, we have Zygarde, a Kalos Pokemon that has a connection to Sun and Moon. However, it wasn't until I saw the new Sun and Moon trailer from E3 that I decided to make this video. The trailer showed Magearna in action using a move called Fleur Cannon, undoubtedly a fairy type move and probably its signature move. And can you guess what language Fleur comes from? It's French. For flower. And what region was Kalos based on? France. And this may seem like a small clue, but it, along with the new Zygarde trailer, really put this idea in the forefront of my mind as something that could actually happen. That we'll be going back to Kalos in Pokemon Sun and Moon, specifically the Azoth Kingdom. This Azoth place obviously has connections with Alchemy based on its name alone, and we've already seen connections to Alchemy in Sun and Moon, like Solgalio's origin and the symbol for sulfur on Litten's face. But the Alola region is based on Hawaii, which has absolutely no connections to medieval alchemy. But what if the Alola region has a connection to Kalos in some way, more specifically the Azoth Kingdom? This place could have huge storyline implications for Sun and Moon. What if the evil team is from there? What if the Azoth Kingdom created the legendary Pokemon Solgaleo and Lunala? The possibilities are endless. One theory I've seen is that the main character in Sun and Moon is actually from Kalos. It's revealed in one of the trailers that he or she did just move to the Alola region. Maybe you have to go back home for some reason. But even if that's not the case, the evidence is pretty damn strong. This Azoth place is probably going to be where all the unexplained Generation 6 stuff comes into play. Volcanion, Magearna, Zygarde, the Koroway train station, although I don't know how you would take a train to Hawaii, but whatever. I'll honestly be surprised if this theory isn't accurate. At the very least, there has to be some mention of the Azoth Kingdom in Sun and Moon, or else all these unexplained legendaries will have no place in the game's story. I have a suspicion it'll be a post-game excursion, but even so, going back to Kalos would be huge. That's something we haven't seen since Pokemon Gold and Silver, lore, which by the way hold major parallels to Sun and Moon. Maybe we'll get to go to even more regions with DLC. The announcement trailer did say it all comes together. I don't think that's very likely, but still, it's fun to think about. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Am I crazy, or am I onto something here? And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun putting it together. I love doing theory stuff. There's just so much for Sun and Moon. There's so much. This Pokemon lore is getting crazy. It's like tying all these generations together, which doesn't usually happen. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video and you're new here, please subscribe to my channel or I'll kill you! Bye.